All right, we will start off with this prayer. Gracious Father, we thank you for the opportunity to meet together today. May we find the comfort we desire in you and the strength we need in your name. May your presence be with us every hour of the day. May your love be the passion in our hearts. May your joy be our strength when times are hard. May your presence be the peace that overflows in our lives. Through Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen. Okay, so you are in the SSO user setup training. So for some of you, you've probably been through this training, and there may be others on the training that have never been through it. So those of you that have been through it, bear with me. I'm gonna try to go slow and do step by step so others can learn from this. The purpose of doing this is to learn, so you're able to do it and not struggle so much when you have users coming up and not able to get logged into the three areas for senior living. So I will send out this SSO setup user guide. I did revamp it from when Linda had done it. Linda did the base of it, so thank you, Linda. But I did revamp it and added some pictures and made it more user friendly for you all. So I'm hoping that this will help as well. So I will I'll walk through this guide in the live environment. Actually, I'll be going in our training environment. So I have the matrix window open. Obviously, you have to log in. You need a SSO login in order to set up other users, and you have to be set up appropriately in the other portals in order to set users up. So hopefully, if you are on the call, you are set up correctly. I am going to cheat. I'm going to log in into my Elite Matrix with this user because of the fact that I have more access and I can get to both training sites. So you would log in with your SSO account. And you can see here that I am already in the senior living training facility. When you log in, you'll see your facility up here in the corner. If you have a corporate login, typically you would go to the facility, excuse me. Sorry about that. You would go to the corporate, or you would go to the facility tab and search facility. And from there, you would see all of your facilities and you would be able to search. I only have my training facilities in view right now because I am going to go in and we're going to add somebody in the senior living training facility at this time. You always want to start before doing anything when you're, before even thinking about adding a new user to Matrix, you always want to search. And I recommend searching at the corporate level because some of our users are set up at the corporate level. And if in fact you find them and they're set up at the corporate level, then you can just put a ticket in for one of us to add the facility. All of our corporate users are set up with the ability to be able to go into different environments, and they're attached to one single security template. So they have that same security template. Now, it may not work for your building if you have a, I'm trying to think here, a nurse that works in several skilled buildings, and then she's going to come and work in your AL as an AL nurse. You probably want to set her up at facility level because of the fact that the templates are different. We have a team of us have worked on these AL templates. We're eventually going to get through all of the templates. So we are going to work hard to get these all straightened out and tighten up the security, if you will. So going back to the beginning, you log into Matrix Elite. This is the Elite side. You go to your corporate tab and we are going to search. So I'm going to type in, I'm going to look for Sean Penn. I created Sean Penn yesterday. So I'm going to search for Sean Penn, just so you can see. You always want to include inactive, because sometimes they will go, if you have a staff member, or maybe an agency person that was there in your building 3 months ago, and now they're coming back to work a couple of shifts, they will go inactive for you. So search, and there we see Sean Penn. He's in here and he's active. He's in my right facility. So I don't need to do anything. So now I'm going to try searching just so you can see when I search for somebody. Hopefully this person isn't in there. Good. So Minnie Mouse is not in our system anywhere. So I am a single, I'm going to take Regina, for example. Regina's got a single attached AL. Duluth has 2 attached ALs, Marywood and Westwood. You have the option for the facilities. If you have a nurse going to come to work in your building, and she's going to cross over and work at both Marywood and Westwood, or both of your ALs, if you have 2 ALs or an AL and an IL, and they're going to work at both, you can set the user up at the corporate level. Then they have one login, and then they go to the facility and they choose the building they're going to work in. When we get over to the senior living and Keycloak and further down in our training, you can add both of them under the user. But in here, you have to set them up at the corporate level. So Minnie Mouse is only going to work at the senior living training facility. So I'm going to go to my facility tab and set her up. I already have searched for her, and she's not in the corporation at all. So I'm going to just go to facility, add user. I'm going to select one of these templates based on whatever her position is. And I said she's a nurse. So I will just start creating it. You fill in, let's see, Minnie K. Mouse. And she is an LPN. So I've got her name in here and her title. The title is very important. The title attaches to the nurse when they do anything in Matrix. So username would be first initial of her first name, middle initial, and last name. And those of you who have worked with me by now, you know when you ask for me to set a user up, I generally will ask you for the middle initial, just because then we get a more unique username. There you can do different variations with the username. If this username was chosen, you could drop the middle initial. If that didn't work, you could put her last name first and then maybe her first and middle initial behind it. Or you could put, I've seen many of the ALs, they put AL behind it. It doesn't matter as long as it's something that the user, when you give it to them, they'll remember. And then we'll talk about it matching when we go over into Keycloak to set them up. Excuse me. So this password, honestly, it really doesn't matter on this side, but you have to put one in or it won't let you bypass without it. So I've set her username and password. She's inactive. I'm going to hit save. Now she's set up. I do want to go back, and you can see her facility is the training facility where I'm setting her up. You do want to go back and hit this update button and keep this box open. Now, the next step in your process is to go over and open up Keycloak. Now you will notice that I have all of my senior living icons saved to my favorites. So I'm going to sign in. This one I have to use my SSO account on. And this page always comes up. You just go to the home page and click on users. And here's where you're going to search. You're going to search over on this side to see if they've been set up over here. So I'm going to see if Minnie Mouse is set up. No results. So she's not set up, which is a good thing. I got to move my little box here. So typically when I'm in here, and I don't know if Linda's on, but she typically when I'm in here, I automatically unlock users, and it'll just unlock everybody in case somebody happens to be locked out at that time. It's just, I've kind of made it a habit of mine. So I'm going to go to add user. This username must match exactly what you put in over here. So generally what I do is I copy and paste, especially when you get to some tricky first and last names, you want to make sure that it matches. Email is not necessary. Do not put an email in. So first name is Minnie. Last name, of course, is Mouse. You notice it don't ask for a middle initial in here. Make sure this user enabled is on. Mine will automatically default to on. I did have a user a couple weeks back that said hers didn't default to on, so just make sure that says on. You can leave the email verified off. Select update password and hit the save. And it assigns an ID. You take and you copy. That's why I left this open over here, and you paste that ID in here, and I always double check it. CFC4, I just, before I save it, and hit save. Now you're done on the elite side. You don't have to do anything more over here. So over here, you have set them up. Now you want to put in a password. Typically what Linda has trained on is password, 1 exclamation, and the P is capitalized. So that's kind of what I've been doing. It's kind of just been a trend, and then hit the reset password and change password. So now you've got that user set up. If this user is going to set up other users, you have to go into role mappings, and you have to click on this client admin and go over and hit add selected. So the next process then, once you have them set up in here, is to open up your senior living. So I open up another window. I have my senior living saved on my favorites. And since I'm logged in with my SSO, I don't have to do it again. I just click on the sign on. And boy, my computer's thinking a long time this morning. So I do have all of the buildings selected because I was in here working yesterday. You will only see buildings that you are assigned to. So I am going to just select the training building because that is the building that we're working in today. So under system setup, the first step in this process is going down under task scheduling, care assist user management. Again, we're going to search for Minnie. No records at this time. So add user, type in Minnie and her last name. It will not let you copy and paste the username in here. The function doesn't work. I've tried. So I know the username was NK Mouse, and I can verify it over here just to make sure. The SSO, it will let you copy and paste that. Thank goodness. Otherwise, we'd be going back and forth a few times. Down here under primary community, I'm going to select the training. You will not see all of these buildings because you don't have access to all of them, so no worries for you. I said that she was an LPN. I selected the LPN position. Under the user-specific tokens, I select all. I start with all. Then I go down my list, and I have this spelled out in the user guide, how many tokens and which tokens each discipline gets. So I'm going to save us time by not going through that. We don't use the PTI in our function, so that's why that one's removed. And then these bottom ones per Linda are dismantled. We don't use those. And she's a nurse, so I leave the nurse only administration on there for her. And she ends up with 45 tokens selected, and I click save. Now, for those of you, let me go back into Mini. I just want to make sure I'm clear. Modify. And I could have done that when I was in there. For those of you that have multiple buildings, so Duluth, for instance, has Marywood and Westwood. And if this nurse, Minnie Mouse, was going to work in both of the buildings, I would give her access right here. I would add an additional community. That way, then when she logs into Senior Living and Care Assist, she can choose between Marywood or Westwood. So that's how you would do it here. And I'm not going to do that with Minnie Mouse, but just so you know that. And then you'd select the community, main position, and the tokens again. And that will link to her account. So second, if this were a CNA or an RA, resident assistant, that is not going to do any charting in the senior living, your evaluations, your forms, your clinical progress notes, if they're not going to do any of that, you can probably just stop at this point because then you're finished. But if they are, you'll go up to system setup and under this general, go to usernames. And we'll search for Minnie and she'll come up. Unknown caller. So senior living training is the community I'm in. It automatically defaults her to the care assist role. And this is all in the user guide I will send you. You will select clinical notes, the CNC one. Then down here, you will select clinical and default care assist. Oh, I gotta move that screen here. Can't see my save button. And click save. And that should take care of it. Then your nurse should be good to go. She should be able to log in. So I am going to log in with her just so you can see what it looks like. Oh, thinks I'm still logged in. And it'll automatically tell me I need to change my password to activate my account. That's a good thing. Then it knows I'm in here. I have to enter it twice. Oh, for heaven's sakes, it can't be the same one. There, it took it. So now I'm into the training facility. I'm in as Minnie K. Mouse LPN. And I can go about my business and do my work. I'm on the elite side. And if you, most people find it more useful to click and open the windows for senior living and care assist. Don't forget that there is this navigation bar over here. Oh, well, that's good when I'm training. So it doesn't look like it loaded for me. And maybe it's because I'm in the senior living training facility too, because it does usually load, and then you can jump right over. But I think most people find it more useful to click on these icons and just log in. It's just easier because then they can toggle back and forth. Maybe they're doing an evaluation, or they're doing a Minnie had a fall and they're doing a form, and they're going to go over here and do some charting. So, all right, I'm trying to think if I missed anything. I do have, just so you know, some SSO login tips. I will send this sheet out as well. This will give you some tips. I did want to point out that if you are locked out of Matrix or having trouble logging in, and this is for the SSO only, if you're getting a warning, you want to wait 15 minutes and then attempt again. If that doesn't work, then you will contact your facility contact during regular business hours. So if you want to let your folks know that if you have the ability to set users up, you have the ability to unlock their account as well. And I showed you when we went into KeyCloak, the first thing I do when I'm in KeyCloak is I go in and I unlock users. It's just what I've been trained to do. It'll save you in the long run, and it doesn't hurt nothing to unlock the users. Let's see, I know we have a question in the chat and I will get to that. Let's see here. Then we can contact IT support after hours at this phone number. So that would be after 5 p.m. weekdays and all weekends. You can choose option 3 and wait for the operator. Let them know that you're a Benedictine employee and you have an SSO username and you're locked out of your account. And then they can log in and unlock you. So we're encouraging this to eliminate some of the confusion. I'm hoping this was helpful. I guess it didn't take as long as I anticipated. So Jennifer Schwarty, will this affect logging into Matrix from the SNF side? No, this has nothing to do with logging into the SNF side. This has everything to do with logging into the AL using that single sign-on. So there's two different, Matrix has two different log off. Matrix has two different sign-ons. Most of our skilled facilities have just a regular sign-on. You sign in with your username and password on this top portion here, and it logs you into your skilled building. Now, I did mention earlier that we have a few of our skilled buildings, Jennifer, yours is not one of them, that have to log in using this SSO because they are using the Care Assist feature for their EMR and or POC. So St. Crispin, Prince of Peace, St. Catharines, and Garrison, they all have these SSO logins. So the answer to your question, Jennifer, is no, will not affect the SNF side. Erica, will we be getting a step-by-step guide, or is it on eSource? It will be on eSource, and I also will email it out to the group. So if you were on the emails going out, I will send it out and make sure everybody gets it. And the step-by-step guide is here, and it goes exactly through everything. It even has the links on here. You can go in and you can put them to your, save them to your favorites. And is it Karen Hoffman? Can you please do another one from beginning to end? quickly to summarize. I sure can. So you would log in with your SSO. I'm gonna log in using my regular because I have more access. So once you get into the Elite side, you will go to your corporate tab and user search, and you will search for your person that you're looking for. I'm not going to set up another one, but we can walk through it. I'm going to search for Minnie Mouse, because we know we set her up. And when you don't find her, I found her obviously because we just set her up. You will go to the facility, add user tab, and then you will add her to your building. So when you get in there, you will select one of the following AL templates. For the skilled buildings that use Care Assist, you can select your normal usual templates that you use. But the AL templates, so I said Minnie was a nurse, so we selected nurse for her. You need to put in at least the first name and last name. It will let you bypass without a middle initial and a title, but I do recommend that you get a middle initial if they have a middle initial. And I always encourage putting a title behind the user. Make sure this says active and then click on the save, and that will populate your use. You'll put in your username and hit the save button. Then you'll go over to Keycloak. Let me find my Keycloak. And when you get my guide, you'll find how easy it really truly is. Once you have the guide with the step-by-step, you go to the user tab and you'll search for your person. And normally your person would not be in here. But since we've already set Minnie up, she's in the building. So if you don't find your person, that's where you hit the add user button. So we've already added Minnie. This ID will not populate until you fill out all of the fields that are necessary. So username, first name, last name, make sure user's enabled. Click on the verify email, or not email, pardon me. Update password. And my buttons are giving me trouble here, and save. And go to credentials and put in your password 1 exclamation with a capital P. You put that in twice and then hit the reset button. And then you've got your user set up in here. It'll form an ID. You copy and you paste that over into here, which I did. Once you're done with that, you are done over on this side. You don't have to do anything more. Once you get that SSO put over here, just make sure you remember the username. It should match. Then we will go into senior living for step 3. We will go to system. We will go to Care Assist user management. And we will search for our person. And since I've already set her up, she's in here. But obviously you probably won't see her in here. So you would hit your add user and you would fill out the first name, last name, the username, just exactly how you entered it in Keycloak and how you entered it over on the Elite side. You can copy and paste that SSO user ID. You can either copy it from the Elite side, or you can copy it from here. It doesn't really matter. It's the same number. Select your community. Obviously, I see all of the communities. So select your community. What is the position that you're putting in? Is it an RN, LPN, resident assistant? Is it the DON, you know, what position is it? So you select one and then you select your tokens. It's typically 40, let me go to my cheat sheet here. It is 45 tokens for nurse templates, RNs and LPNs, and there'll be 42 tokens for all other users. And I have them all listed for you in this guide that I will be sending out. Then the third setup is system setup, usernames. Obviously, Mini comes up, hit edit. It'll default to that care assist, but you want to change her to this clinical control, clinical notes, the CNC category, and then add a second role, second, third role, clinical and default care assist. And that is all I have. Wow, we got done within a half an hour. Guess I didn't need the whole hour and a half. I wasn't sure how long it would take me to do the training. No more questions in the chat. I do want to let you know that if you do have concerns with logging in, or you've tried to set a user up and you're getting the user's getting an error, what would be your next steps other than emailing Shelly and emailing Linda? We prefer that you go out onto eSource and you click the help button up here, the question mark, support ticket teams, clinical support, and request support, and it will populate your name and phone number and your location. It automatically defaults to miscellaneous category, but you can go in here and you can select. I would probably not put matrix password reset if you're setting up a user and you're having difficulty. I would just select matrix and then type in the issue. I'm setting up John Jones and he's attempting to log in and login is failing and blah, 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 blah. You know, and then on the very bottom of the screen here, you would hit the create ticket. And then both Linda and I can see these tickets come in. And if Linda's traveling or busy, I can grab the ticket. If I'm traveling or busy, she will grab the ticket. You're better off doing it this way. There's more people that can see it. Even the RNSs, once they get familiar with setting up people and helping, they could even go in and grab the ticket and assist you. You'd probably get it faster than if you were to email separately Linda or I. So we do really strongly encourage that you do this. So I'm hoping this was helpful to you all. I know it didn't take up the whole time, but that's okay. You guys can get much of your day back too. You guys are very busy. I want to thank you for attending. And as always, please reach out if you have questions or concerns, and put in a ticket if you need assistance. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Shelley.